Oh yeah, I'm gonna sell some stuff so I can get that one extra level. Let's sell... that. Let's sell this. Let's sell this. Let's sell this. Let's see, what else can I sell? How far am I from getting one extra level? Oh, I can, okay. Oh, no, that wasn't it.
I'll use my power.
Okay, let's level up one more. Motive. Okay, now I'm doing a lot more damage. Let's go to inside the house. Okay. So far, I think playing it safe is probably the best bet with Lies of P, just because there's so much stagger resistant enemies. Being able to guard their attacks and perfect guard their attacks makes it a significantly better option than dodging, especially since your dodge distance isn't really that great. Like, you can't even dodge out of a lot of attacks unless you're far away enough or you're about to get into the rolling animation. Okay, so the boss should be somewhere around here, I think. Should be in this direction. Wow. Okay, so the boss should be over in that direction. Otherwise, there wouldn't be like a door for me to unlock. But the question is, how do I get? Oh. All puppets will be destroyed. That means me, right?
You've got a lot to answer for.
And then I guess I'm supposed to lie here.
You know what caused the puppet frenzy, don't you? You're their maker, practically their father. You and the alchemist scheming together. Tell me the truth. What's your problem? I'm here for the old man. Get lost. Wait. I know you. Or more like, I know what you are. You're the devil's puppet. You can't sneak past me. Die!
His sword looks really cool.
It's destroyed for sure.
Yeah, I think one of the most unsatisfying parts about that Lies of P right now is just that I can never stagger the enemy. Like in Dark Souls, if you charge up fully your charge attacks, most of the time you can kind of like stun the boss a little bit. But here, I charge up the heavy attack to max and it doesn't do anything. They just shrug it off and still hit you. Like, it's so unsatisfying. It doesn't feel like I'm doing a lot of damage or anything. There's no impact to my hits. There's just a lot of sparks and animation. I don't know if that sounds nitpicky, but that's what it feels like. Oh, don't tell me it's gonna follow me over here. I'm fighting a boss. What? No way! Is it really gonna follow me here?
Sneak past me?
Oh wow, it really does follow me here. Well.
gets destroyed for sure.
I don't know. Feels bad. Doesn't give me that feeling of like doing anything to the boss. It just kind of feels like I'm kind of like a grunt mob. Whereas in Dark Souls, you feel like a badass. Or in like Elden Ring, you feel like a badass. Just charge attack, hit an ankle or something, or like stab their weak point, and boom, they're down. And you can kind of like unleash hell on them. Over here, it's like, oh, I'm hitting them with wet noodles. They're taking some damage, but not much. Like imagine like they're cardboard, and you're using wet noodles to attack them. So they eventually they get soggy and they start breaking apart. And that's what you get from Lies of P. Versus like Elden Ring, you're really like using a drill to like hammer down whatever walls that they have. Crushing them slowly, but steadily. And you feel like you're actually doing something. Like you're saving the world, taking down giant epic battles. Not really the same feeling here so far. I'm not really feeling it.
You can't
from this
sneak
game
past me. Die!
Oh, you can actually sneak attack? I wasn't expecting to be able to do that. Oh, I should have gone for it. Wait, you can actually backstab? Oh! That makes this so much easier.
I'll kill you both, then string you up on the bridge!
Finally, we meet, son.
It's a dream come true. Seeing you like this.
I understand why some people despise me. I invented the puppets after all. I should take responsibility as their maker. But in order for me to do that, I need to take care of the puppets at City Hall. Won't you help me, son? Take this. You'll find it most useful.
Oh. You got a bunch of stuff, but I don't know what it is. Huh. Oh, I took his armor. Weapon... A tool that can assemble or disassemble a weapon's blade and handle. Oh, so you can change the handles. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. Wow, this demo is surprisingly long. I've been playing this for almost 2 hours now. Like, I thought it was going to be a really short one, but it's actually pretty lengthy. Gives me a really good idea
So
on
about
whether...
that weapon assembly tool you were talking about. If you find any more weapons, let's try using them here.
Assemble weapons through Eugenie at the hotel or at the Stargazers in different areas. Separate your weapon into blade and handle, and assemble them into new weapons that match your character's battle style. A weapon's features are decided by the handle and blade combo. This is actually extremely cool. Okay. So if I want to have this, I can switch around the handles. Oh, and I can actually give it more or less damage, which is actually pretty cool. And I can shift the weight around. Wait, this is slash and no more stab. Does that mean this becomes... Wait, what happened? Did it not fuse? Weapon assemble. Yes. Oh, and then it takes the stuff apart. Okay. Okay, so now that I assembled a new weapon, what changes to... What changed? Let's see. Oh, it's now a stabbing weapon. Not sure how I like that. I don't really enjoy that. Oh, but this is really cool. It changes the weapon, how the weapon works. So you can switch to different handles. Oh, and this is the original one. Okay. This mechanic is actually really cool. So you can actually change your weapon to becomes like something completely different. Okay, so if I like the Saber's combo chain. Oh yeah, this is amazing. Using the Great Sword's defense and having the combo chain of the Saber, which is more sweeping and more... Oh, that's not. More sweeping attacks. This actually is probably amazing. Because it also has like the higher defense too. Yep, so far so good. Yeah, I'm starting to think like that Mad Donkey probably wasn't a boss. Whoa, what the heck is this? Is that the petrification disease? Because that's pretty creepy. Was there a need to make a shortcut that close? It was just basically like a corner. there's a big guy there.
Survivors here. What do we do? Just give her that baby puppet?
Yeah, I think I should probably give that lady the baby puppet. Because, I mean, she probably can't see by the time I give it to her, right? Okay, this definitely feels like almost time for a boss. So I guess that mad donkey really isn't a boss. But his weapon was so cool. You'd think someone with like such a cool weapon. Oh, nice. Star fragment at the cracks calling to next to the boss area to summon the specter. It would help your character in the boss battle. Oh, that's this. Okay, so there is a boss. Oh, you can actually teleport away whenever you want to. That's actually pretty great. That's a step up from Dark Souls. Because Dark Souls, whenever you teleport like that without using the return spell or whatever, you lose all your souls. And since it didn't give me a prompt, I'm assuming I keep all of the mine. Yep. Yeah, so this is actually much more user-friendly, player-friendly. Like, it's much more convenient because you can just teleport whenever you want to. Okay, I'm just gonna upgrade. You need 50, so I can sell this. I don't plan on using items anyways, so.
I'll use my power.
Awesome. Now let's go with capacity, I guess. Oh yeah. Oh, I like that indicator. It shows me that there's a quest there that I should complete before I do anything else. That's actually pretty good. Because Dark Souls was, I mean, Bloodborne was like, no, actually all of them. All of them are basically like, you have no quest lines. You just have to remember what's happening for each character. And it becomes a nightmare to like organize and do all that. So having this kind of like, Lies of P is actually a little bit more catered towards like a user-friendlier experience. It's not as much about like throwing you into a hole and hoping you know how to survive or something like that. That's what Dark Souls is. No rails attached, no baby wheels. You're just kind of like tossed into the deep end. You gotta fend for yourself and all that kind of thing. But this game has a little bit more of those like baby wheels to help guide you along. There's still some things that I think they need to work out before they actually launch. One of them is like the stagger resistance of some enemies. Like, you don't want the game to be too easy where everyone is stagger resistance. I mean, can be staggered by attacks, but at the same time, you also don't want enemies to be completely stagger immune because really makes you feel like very weak and useless because you can't stagger any enemies, including bosses.
You found her, kind one. I could sense her from miles away. Oh, my sweet Elena. Please let me hold her. There, my baby. I missed you so much. What do you think? Is my baby adorable? That's right, kind one. You've granted me my only wish. My sweet Elena. We're going to be happy now. Thank you so much, kind one. Please accept my heartfelt gratitude.
Wait, what did I get from her? Oh, just that? Oh, that's not really useful. I don't really care about it. Okay. Let's go to the recent Stargazer, and I can teleport back to that other one, and then head for the shortcut, and then head to the boss gate, and then I can summon some help and see how the boss fight with and helper feels like. It's just an NPC helper, so I wonder who's gonna be helping. But yeah, currently, like based on the demo, the experience so far, I think this isn't a game that I would probably get right at launch because there's just so much coming out in the next few months that I think I would probably prioritize other games. Like, I know it's coming out in September, but so is Starfield, and then there's Spider-Man 2 right after that, so I don't know how I'd feel about getting this at launch because I probably wouldn't put too much time into beating it. I probably wouldn't be able to beat it before Spider-Man 2 comes out. Maybe? I don't know. But yeah, I don't think this is like gonna be like a raging review kind of game. This feels kind of like a 7 out of 10 kind of game for me. Just because there's like a few things that doesn't really work very well at the moment. But maybe they'll improve it by the time the actual game comes out. Though usually the demo is how the full game actually looks like and feels like with like optimization, because most of the mechanics are already determined by then, so I don't see a lot of change happening for it. And at its current state, I think it's kind of like a 7 out of 10. Main reason is because like the weight of the attacks aren't as heavy as it should be, despite the risk that you're taking to unleash them. So it just feels like a little bit disappointing. What? Is that it? I thought something would come out. But yeah, it's a little bit disappointing because I don't feel the weight of each attack. The Spectre's dead. And now it's my turn to die. I think. Oh, it's a grab attack. Oh no. Oh, I was just one hit away. I couldn't roll. I don't... So close. So close, so close. But yeah, as you can see, like, that's one of the disappointing parts about the game, is that no matter how many times you used your charge attack, unless the health bar turns white, and then you use a charge attack, they don't stun. And so that's the kind of like really disappointing part about the game, is that all of these, you feel like so small compared to the enemies, despite you trying to be like this. Like, despite the story is trying to label you as like the special one, the hero of the story, but you're actually like very weak compared to these robots, which are completely stun immune. I don't know. I don't know if it's just like, if I'm the one who's like a little bit too nitpicky about this, or if it's like an actual concern, but to me that feels like a huge issue, just because like it doesn't feel good to play when you're dodging. Well, the dodging aspect of this game actually needs some work as well. Like, I could definitely see the attack coming, but I didn't have a good way to really dodge the enemy, if that makes sense. Because your dodge distance is so low. And sometimes you actually don't dodge when you're locked in, you kind of like sidestep. So it makes it a little bit not as refined, the movement not as refined as it should be. Like, I kind of wish the dodge and dash option wasn't there. And the ability to block. Because like, there's so many options that technically you can try to get around, but it doesn't always work very well. Yeah, I don't know how to dodge that. Oh, I thought I actually hit the R1 button, but I guess I was a little bit too far, and it didn't work. Which is kind of annoying. Oh, even the 3-hit combo didn't let me stun him. That's annoying. Yeah, I can't tell when I'm actually dodging or sidestepping. That's the annoying thing. Like, I never thought that having more options to dodge and attack is actually, like, not a good thing. Which kind of explains why Dark Souls has always been just block or Dark Souls has always been block or row, and Bloodborne has always been just dodge, and it's so that you can time the boss attacks to make sure everything matches up really nicely and the experience feels great. What this game did here is they tried to copy the Dark Souls and Bloodborne formula, hoping, I guess, to attract both, but it's just not doing great on both outsides. Like, the dodge mechanic doesn't feel great, and the row mechanic doesn't feel great because it sometimes ends up being like a dodge instead of a row, and that can really affect your pacing because you were expecting to row but you ended up dodging, and that's what I'm kind of feeling a lot here because it's not clear when you're actually dodging and when you're rolling. Like, you think it would make sense to be like a dodge and then a row if you hit it again, kind of like God of War, but it's not like that. Like, this is just pressing circle once and you're already doing a row. But sometimes when you're fighting and locked onto an enemy, you actually sidestep like this. And row is when you unlock. So maybe the way to actually control it is to unlock and then press circle. Okay, hopefully this time I can do it, but I don't know how I feel about the game. It feels kind of like a 7 out of 10. Decent, but frustrating. Okay, this time I can finally beat it. Phew. My guess is that you can probably go back to the hotel and find the puppeteer now. And then there's probably some upgrade. Maybe I can finally use the P organ. But yeah, I still stand by my opinion that when you're giving heavy hits onto the boss, after a certain amount of tries, it should be able to stun. Not until it hits like a threshold of HP where you're like 70% done with the fight.
You saved key is on the second floor. I'll use my power.
Ah, you've returned. Forgive a sentimental father for worrying about his son. Always remember that you're precious to me. Even when I ask you to do something dangerous. Speaking of which, there's a factory just beyond the Elysian Boulevard. It's packed with countless puppets. My friend, the inventor Vanini, went to stop them, but he never came back. Please, go save him and shut down the factory. P organs are the source of your powers. Collect quartz to get the strength you need. Remember, the hotel is the last safe place in Krat. It's our only refuge in a city full of perils. It'll be extremely dangerous if anyone has ill intentions. Be careful who you tell about this place, especially if they're stalkers or alchemists. Be wary of dangerous people, and always be a good boy to me.
Oh, P organs. Use the P organ slots to activate your character's Latin abilities. Equip quartz on the P organ to obtain its corresponding effect. If you equip quartz in each of the slots in a single group, you gain a group synergy effect. Each time synergy effects of 2 groups are activated, the next step is unlocked. You can get a greater variety of effects as you take your P organ to higher phases. Okay, so this is... Oh, this is gonna be amazing. Wait, how does this work? I don't really understand. Okay, I see. I guess this is it. This is the entire demo, I guess? This is our thank you for playing, right? I'm assuming that means it's done. I'm just gonna do a final exploration to see like if there's
I picked
anything
up traces
else.
of high-powered energy originating far away. That's one mystery solved. Why don't we make a Legion arm with it? Mr. Vanini is the expert when it comes to Legion arms, but I'm pretty sure I can make one. The puppets get fried easily by electricity. You're going to the factory. He's the richest man in Krat. I heard he went to shut the factory down. I know my way around a well.
Wait, does that mean I already got the Legion arm? Because I can't seem to do anything with it. Okay, I'm just gonna see if I can actually head to that factory or if it's just telling me and that's supposed to be where you go after this part in the main game. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, like, when the Gipoto is, like, talking about, oh, nice. But he was saying something about, like, be wary of, like, stalkers and stuff. I assume that there's gonna be a NPC that probably, like, goes to the hotel and kills everyone, kind of like Yurt from Dark Souls. So you can definitely see, like, there's a lot of influence probably from the Dark Souls games, which is why everything's so similar. But for some reason they didn't really take the good parts about Dark Souls, which is the combat from the bosses. Oh yeah, so okay, so the game does end here. There's nothing else I can really do. I didn't get a key or anything, so I'm assuming when you have the full game you get a key after that boss and you can probably go to the next part. But since I don't have a key, then that's really like where this is where the story ends. There's nothing else I can do. But before I end it, I'm gonna try the arm out. What? Oh, it's close range. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the Legion arms. Like, I feel like it should be a ranged attack, because then otherwise, like, why do you have... Like, it should be ranged, like a gun or a cannon or something. I'm sure that's probably something that later on, but it makes the early game really kind of dull, because you have a weapon that is actually not useful at all. Like, the hook, the rope hook, the punch, and now this lightning arm is not useful. Yeah, so this is the demo for Lies of P. I hope, like, this is the full experience, so I hope that it's actually kind of interesting. I personally don't think it's amazing. I think it's decent. It's something that I would get on sale. So if the gameplay here looks great to you, that's great. I think there's some work that they could do to improve it. But yeah, like, those are some of the complaints that I had during the playthrough. Like, it was just... It's like 80% of the way to being satisfying, but it's just missing a little bit to give it that kind of perfection. Graphically, I think it actually looks great, but the city looks very dull because it's all the same color. Like, it doesn't have any variation. It's just all gray and stuff. Yeah, but I don't know. I wish there was like a little bit more background story about this guy, because he just has a donkey head and I took his armor and that was it. Like, what's the story? I don't know. There's not a lot of introductions, but I think they're probably saving that for the main game. So, yeah. Overall, it's a pretty good experience. It's on Game Pass at launch, so maybe if you have Game Pass, you should probably try it there. I think it's probably... Yeah, I think it's gonna be like a 7 out of 10. Around that area, when it actually gets reviewed and stuff. And the reason for that is just because it's kind of like Dark Souls, but not really. It's kind of there, but it's not there. And it's not too... There's not a lot of originality there. Like, I can see the L2 with the Fominus, the Legion arm, as something that's trying to, like, make it unique. But they just added something that's really completely useless. Like, I did not find it useful at all because it was doing, like, 180 damage. And my normal sword attack also does, like, 180 damage. And it's faster too, I can chain it twice, but for the arm I can only use it once and then I have to wait before I use it again. So it's actually even slower. And for like my main weapon, I can charge the heavy attack, which usually does like 2 hits in a row, which makes it more, like, it does even more damage than the Legion arm. So I don't see the point of the Legion arm at all. Like, maybe if it was a mid combo kind of thing, so like I can do a normal R1 chain, like 2 hits, and then I can combo it with like a Legion arm finisher. That would be interesting, but it doesn't work like that. So it feels like a useless mechanic that they added into the game, where they were trying to, like, I don't want to be like be compared to Bloodborne or Dark Souls, so I need something unique to make me stand out, but it just wasn't executed very well. Like, you can see the intention, but it just doesn't have that impact. Yeah. I feel like I sound like a little bit harsh about the game, but it's just when you're trying to copy the model of like a masterpiece, you're held to a higher standard, and that's just how it is, because you're not bringing anything new to the table. You're trying to build on something that exists, and if your product is not as good as the existing product, then what's the value in playing your game? And so that's why it should be a little bit stricter. But yeah, overall the experience was okay. I wouldn't say great, which is why I'm not entirely sold on the experience. Like Forspoken, I had a lot of fun playing the game. It was fun to play. It's not a masterpiece in terms of story or graphics, but the combat brought something new, which is the free-flowing combat with lots to pay attention to. There's always activity. There's a lot of things that keeps on coming out at you, and there's a lot of things that you can do in Forspoken, which makes it unique, such as like the mobility and the transversal options. You can't do that in any other game. Like, it's not that free-flowing. You don't scale mountains actively. Like, there's a slow climb like in Zelda, but you don't get that running up a mountain and then flying off, or running across the sea and then flying up a mountain or something like that. And that's the value that Forspoken brings, is that free-flowing. You have that true freedom in an open world game, as well as really fun flashy combat to go with it. And this is like in comparison, this game is a new game that's like Dark Souls, like Bloodborne, but not as fun. And so it doesn't add to the experience. It's just like a reskinned, but no, it's actually just kind of like a clone. It's a inferior clone. And so I hope they improve it by launch. There's still like 3 months. I'm not too hopeful that there's going to be huge changes. I think that most of the time it's just going to be spent on optimization. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in whatever comes next.